everyone, welcome in this webinar, Event Appointment Rental, which app to use to make your implementation a success. Before we start, I would like to introduce us. This is Manon, and I'm Camille. Manon is specialized in all the marketing apps, while I'm specialized in e-commerce. So let's dig into the agenda of today's session. So we'll first start with the main feature of each app, and Manon will tackle them. Then we'll dig into real use cases, for live use cases. And then we'll tackle the new functionality in Odoo 18 for those different apps. And then we'll end this session with a Q&A.
Okay, so let's start with the app main features. So as you know, we're talking about 3 different apps: rental, appointment, and event. So with rental, obviously, this application will allow you to rent any goods or service that you have. For example, you rent cars. The main feature that are important with that app is that you can have a link with the inventory. So you can track how many items of the product that you are renting, so how many cars you still have in your stock. You can also handle rental duration, so you can rent your car for 1 week, 1 month, a year. And you can also manage rental price lists. So change the price of the car depending on the number of days they are rented for. With the appointment app, you will allow people to book an appointment with you for a service, for example, such as a massage parlor, and you want people to be able to book a massage with you. The main feature are the fact that you can handle time slots and recurrence, so you can decide if you want to offer massage every day during the week or only on weekends, for example. And you can also manage the planning of both the resources, so let's say your massage room in your institute, or the users, so yourself or the massage therapist. And the last application is Event, which is self-explanatory as well, but you will be able to manage your event from start to finish, so create your whole event. The main feature are the fact that you can provide some e-ticket registration, so you can have QR codes that people can scan to enter your events. You can also have different pricing, so you can have different ticket prices. And the main also advantage with Event is the fact that it's fully integrated with the marketing tool, so that you can do the promotion before the event, but also the follow-up.
But let's imagine we have a business need that is just right in the middle, and you need this feature of all of these different apps. What do? Have you ever been in this kind of situation? Don't worry, you're not alone. And let me share you a personal story. I once had a customer who managed a supermarket, and he needed to rent stand areas for his external partner, for his customer. So he had 2 needs. On the one hand, he wanted to enable his customer to book 1 up to several days in the agenda, but also to enable them to cancel the booking when needed. And on the other hand, the supermarket wanted to track the presence, but also the no-show of his customer, but also to block some specific days of the year, making sure that no one else can book those days. So which app do we use here in this specific use case among rental, appointment, and event? This situation was a bit challenging. And why? Because they all manage schedule, but also attendees. And when you have specific requirements that come into play, well, it can turn into a real headache. So don't worry, you're right at the right place today. And today's session will give you some clarity and confidence to make your implementation a success in the future. So let's tackle the first use case. We have 4 different use cases, and for each use case, either Manon and I will play the customer, and the other one, the business analyst.
Okay, so the first one is the coaching session. So hello, Camille.
Hello.
So I have a business where I organize 1-hour coaching session from Monday to Friday for businesses. And I need my customer to be able to book their preferred day online. So let's say they want to have the session on Wednesday. They need to be able to choose that. Also, we have, in terms of pricing, it's a 10-week intensive session package, meaning that they have to pay for the 10 weeks. And so if they come on Wednesday, they're going to come the next 10 Wednesday, and they have to pay for that. So how do I do that with Odoo?
Okay, so as a business analyst, I could think about 2 apps. First one, I could think about events. And in this case, I would create 1 event for 1 coaching session. The advantage with event is that I can manage different prices, so depending if you offer different prices for each slot. And it allows you also to manage the capacity. On the other hand, I could think about appointment, and here what's really nice with appointment is that you can manage recurrent weekdays. So we have an idea of which day you want to come. The advantage with appointment is that it's linked with the calendar app, and the calendar app allows you a recurrency, and it also manages your capacity. So one of my first question, Manon, is that do you offer different pricing depending on the amount of people that is coming to this slot?
No, it's always going to be the same price, how many people are coming. So
Okay. So here, manage different pricing is not necessary, so we can turn ourselves to appointment, but also mainly thanks to the calendar app, which allows us the recurrency. So let's dig into our database. So here I can jump into my appointment app because this is the solution that we decided. So here I already created a coaching session, 10-week intensive session. So if I'm going into the configuration, well, Manon, the session, does it last 1 hour, 2 hours? How much
always
time?
1 hour.
Okay, so here I put 1 hour for each day of the week. So here we have Monday until Friday, so it happens from 6 to 7.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
So I was also wondering if it was important to synchronize all those bookings with the coach agenda.
Well, yes, of course, they need to know when they have a booking and to prepare for that session.
Okay, so what's nice here is that I put the user Felix coach here, and what you told me is that the price won't change regardless of the amount of people that is coming to the slot. So
yeah, exactly.
I could come with my associate, the price will be the same.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So here you told me that the customer need to pay a package for. So here I put 100 euros for the total booking, so 10 euro per session. So it will happen 10 times, so it's 100 euros. And also, is it important for the coach to know how many people will come, even though he doesn't care because the price won't change?
Well, even if the price doesn't change, it's important for him to know so that he can better prepare the session. So it can go from 1 to 3 people at a time, and he can adapt the exercises.
Okay, perfect. So here, what we can do is just to have this additional information without impacting the price. And here we can add a question, how many people will come? So here, there are 3 answers possible because the maximum amount of people is 3. So let's show you now what happens on the website when somebody is interested in having a 10-week intensive session with a coach. So here I jump into my website. Here I can see the availability on an overall week, so every weekday. And I'm interested in having a coaching session with my associate on a Friday for the 10 following weeks. So here I can just select this one. I have a free slot at 6, so I can select this one. I can just warn my associate that I book for him 10 week intensive week for session for coaching, and I can also say will be 2 coming for the following weeks. So then I can pay with demo. So it takes some time. So here we have the session 10-week intensive session booked. So now if I'm going back on the database, I can see that I have 1 meeting upcoming. But remember, this will happen on the 10 following weeks. So how to make sure that the 10 following weeks will be booked for this specific customer and that no one else is able to book this. So as I said previously, calendar app and appointment app are linked together. So I can find back this appointment when I jump into my calendar app. And here I can do a filter only on the agenda of my coach, Felix. So I select this one. And here we can see that he has already a coaching session with Alicia and myself for this Friday. But if I'm going on the following week, well, we don't see any meeting. But how can we do this, that it will be recurrent for the 10 following week? I guess that was your question.
Yes, exactly. That's important.
So here I just click on edit, and here you can see that you have a little field, recurrent. So by ticking this one, Friday is already selected, and you can put the number of repetition. And here I'll put 10 because it's a 10 intensive week. So when I save it manually, what happens is that if I'm checking only the Felix Coach agenda, the 10 following weeks, well, it's in his agenda, so it will also interact with the appointment app. So let me show you that it works. So here I have 10 meetings upcoming, so it was a good interaction between both of the app. And if I want to see it within the 2 following or the 3 following months, to see that this slot won't be available, I put the end date, but I need to put the start and then the end date. So I put end of July. So now that I do this, we can see that the following Friday for the 10 following weeks is not possible to be booked because it's for myself and for my associate, Alicia. And then you can start booking again on June 20th. So here a quick summary of the solution. The best solution was using the appointment app. Why? Mainly because of the recurrency feature that is possible between appointment and calendar app. So would it fit you need, Manon?
Yes, really the integration with the calendar app is really helpful for my coach.
Perfect.
So, great. Thank you. Okay, so now let's move on to the second use case.
So I'm a museum and I organize many exhibitions in different locations in Brussels, and I need my participant to register to come to those exhibitions. But what I would like also is to identify the VIP attendees, as there are leads that I need to follow up on in the future. So how can I do this? I thought about appointment because appointment allows me to create opportunities, but I don't know if there are any better solution in Odoo.
Yes, so that's a great start because indeed the solution will be between two applications, between event or appointment. So why event? Well, with events, you are able to manage different ticket prices. So you mentioned the fact that you need to identify the VIP attendees. I'm guessing the VIP tickets are more expensive than the standard one.
Exactly.
You have also the marketing integration with the event application and the fact that you can generate new leads. But indeed, you can generate lead as well with the appointment application. So that's why it might get confusing. And with appointment, you can, of course, manage the pricing and the different location that you have. So let me show you how to do that in Odoo and what is the best solution. And for your use case, so it's really important for you to identify only the VIP attendees, right?
Yes.
Okay, so because of that, we're going to go with event, and let me show you why. So in the event application, so I'm going to go into the event application, I have already created one of my events. So here I have created the event, I have given it a name, I've decided on the date, and I have different type of tickets. So you see I have the standard registration and the VIP one. So this is the main setup of my event. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the lead generation rules. So here in the configuration of the event, I have lead generation, and I'm going to create a rule to say, okay, well, I'm going to create some new VIP leads. This is a new feature of the version 18 that you can say, okay, well, each time I'm going to create a new lead, depending on the attendee or per order. You can also decide when you're going to create the lead. So if people have registered or attended, here we're going to say attended because you do not want to create leads if people do not show up to your event.
Exactly.
You can apply the rule to specific event or just leave it empty and then it applies to everything. And here, that's the main difference with the appointment application. You're going to be able to add some condition. So here, I'm going to add a condition, which is a field of my event application and my event in itself. And I'm going to go look for the type, the ticket type. And I'm going to say, okay, ticket type is in, and then VIP registration. So I will have the number of records. Currently, I don't have anyone. And I can also add some default value for when the lead is going to be created in my CRM application. So let's say I'm going to add a tag so that my sales team knows that it's a VIP attendee. And I can even attribute it to someone specific or to a sales team. So I'm going to add it to the sales team that is VIP so that they know that they have a new lead they need to handle. So let's save this. And now let's go back into our event and see what it looks like. So I'm going to my event. I'm going to go to the website and book Indeed, so register to the event. So let's do that. I'm going to purchase the VIP tickets. I'm going to proceed to the payment and pay with Demo. So I have paid for my event, so the ticket is done. So let's skip this and see the summary of the event, so for my customer. And now if I'm going back into my event application, so here my exhibition, I see I have one attendee, so one person that has registered, which is the one that we just did, and I'm going to mark them as attended. So let's say we have done the event, they came, so they have attended the event. Now, because of my lead generation rule, if I'm going back to my event, you see now I have a new smart button that pops up where I have the leads and so the link with the CRM. And when I open this, I can find again all the information of the customer that registered to the event. I have the tag that I have added, and also in the extra information, I have the sales team that is automatically added. And I have the link with the attendee, so I'm going back to my event and I have the link between the two. So this is how you are able to manage the lead from your event to do the follow-up, so with the generate lead button and the new rule that has been created. Would that be okay for you?
Yes, I was just wondering, since that I have a museum, but I have different locations, different exhibition happening in different places in Brussels, do I need to create one event for one location?
Yes, indeed. That is, so you see here in event, we have the venue field where you have to choose where your exhibition takes place, and you can only choose one venue. So it means that you have to create one event per venue. But if, one event per venue, so you can change that here.
Okay, perfect. And also with event, can I manage QR code for scanning the entrance of the people who registered, who attended?
Yes, exactly. That's one of the main feature and advantage of using events. So this is just a setting that you need to activate. So here you see that you can check the box, use event barcode. And once it's done, you have the registration desk. So it means that whenever you're going to have an event, you will be able to scan the badge and the QR code that was generated for your event and to select the attendee when they are coming to the exhibition.
Okay, so event seems to be the best fit for my business.
Indeed, for this business, because of the lead generation rule, event is the best solution.
Perfect. Thank you, Manon.
So just a quick summary of the solution. As we saw, the main advantage is the fact that you can generate leads based on rules that you will apply. You can also limit the registration, which is a cool feature of events. And for the location, you will indeed have to create one event per location.
Perfect.
Okay, so next use case. So I'm a company that runs booths for different events, and the prices vary based on the event itself. So the booth might be more expensive if it's for the OXP, for example, than for a local music festival. And I also want people to be able to choose the number of days that the booth is rented for, because sometimes my events last a week, but I want only people to be able to book it for one day, for example.
Okay.
I try to do that with events, because I know that with events you can manage booths, but I couldn't quite figure it out. So can you help me out?
Yeah, sure. So you're not totally wrong. Event can be a very good solution because it offers both functionality, and the booth will be as proposed as a service. And here you can manage different pricing on your booth based on the booth category. So you can definitely suggest different prices for one event. And the advantage also is that when you book a booth, well, for one event, it will be for the entire event duration. On the other hand, what we can do also, and that's possible, is using rental. So rental here, it has a big advantage, is tracking the inventory, which is not the same with event because booth is suggested as a service. And then here also you can talk about the same product but have different prices thanks to a flexible prices that you can put online, so the customer can just choose the right price list depending on the event he wants to come to. And then also the advantage of rental is that the customer can choose his duration 1 up to 3 days. So one of my main questions that will definitely help me in my choice is that important to track the inventory, or do you have unlimited stock of your booth and you don't need to track them?
Oh no, I don't have unlimited stock. I need to be able to know how many booths I have left for the rental.
Okay, well, in this case, rental would be the best fit. So let me show you how we can configure this in this database. So first thing first, well, we'll need to jump in the rental application. And if I'm going to the product, I have already one booth created. So here, if I jump into it, make sure to tick rental. And also here, I can see my different rental prices. So here we can see that we have daily prices, 2 days price, and also 3 days prices. So here it interacts with the different price lists that I created beforehand. So I'll show you how it looks like. So here I created 3 different price lists additionally to the default one. And so the price list will be the name of your event. So I just presumed that you had Odoo experience, Ardent, and Esperanza, 2 different festivals. So here you can put the price for each event on a daily basis, 2 days, 3 days. And here you can see that we are talking about the same product, but it has different prices depending on the price list that you choose. Okay, so let's show you now how a customer on your website can book it for this rental booth. So let me jump again to my product. So I have my product here. I can just go on the website. And so let's imagine I would like to rent the booth for the Odoo experience. So here I can just jump into my agenda, and I know that the Odoo experience will happen somewhere in September. So I would be interested in renting it for 2 days, for the 18th until the 19th. So I can just apply it. And here I have the price for 2 days for the Odoo experience. But let's imagine I would also be interested in renting it for the Ardente. So here I go on the Ardente and I select the right day for this festival. So I know that it happens somewhere here, beginning of July. So I'm also interested in booking it for 2 days. So I can just apply, and we can see that we have a different price while we are talking about the same product. So here I would like to book it for those 2 events, Ardente and the booth for the Odoo experience. So here I added first for the Ardente. And here actually you can see that I'm blocked, so I cannot choose any other dates. It's because, well, you have 2 different requirements on your sales order, is that it's the same duration and you have only 1 price list. You cannot mix 2 different price lists on the same sales order. So we have to do it one at a time. So here I do it for the Ardente. So here I book it. I can just pay for it. Okay. And so let's imagine now I would like to book it also for the Odoo experience. So I can do exactly the same flow, making sure I'm on the right price list. And then I select the days I'm interested to. So in September, those 2 days, I add it to my card, and then I can just pay with Demo. Perfect. So now that is done, I'm sure you're interested to see how it looks like as an internal user of your database. So we can just jump into your database and jump into the sales application. When I open my sales application, here I can see my 2 different sales order, and we have a better overview thanks to the price list to know for which event is your customer interested to rent the booth. And here you have it back as well. So would it fit your need, Manu?
Yeah, I mean, if you can track the inventory and I can see it in my sales order, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Perfect. So here a quick summary of the best solution for this use case is using the rental application, mainly because you have a flexible price list on your database, but also because you can track your inventory. And you have also a very good overview of the event we are talking about on the list view, but also on the form view of your sales order.
Okay, great.
Perfect. So let's tackle the last use case now, rock climbing session. So I have a rock room in Brussels, and I organize also a rock climbing lesson every Wednesday for 1 hour. So here the booking is online, but payment, so the customer needs to pay it once they arrive at my desk in the climbing room. So how can I manage this, Manu?
Well, that's interesting because here in this case, we definitely have 2 applications that could fit your needs, and you will see that the choice will really depend on you and on the feature that you need the most. So the choice is going to be between events. Why? Because, well, with events, you're going to allow people to book online to register for the session. You can also, there's a link with the point of sale application, meaning that you can retrieve their booking when they are coming to your desk at the climbing room. And you can also, on top of that, manage capacity. I don't know if it's something that's important for you.
Yes, because we have a maximum that we can accept.
Okay, well, we'll check that together afterwards. And on the other hand, you could use appointment. Why? Well, you see that we have some common features. You also have that link with the point of sale, so we can do the same logic of retrieving the booking when they are coming to your desk. We also can manage the capacity with appointments. And one of the key features also with appointment is the fact that you can manage recurrency because your sessions are every week, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's let's go into Odoo and see the two solutions. So let's start first with event. So if you decide to use the event application, you're going to create your new event. So here I have already created one. So I have defined the name of my event. I have defined that it's going to be every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 in the evening. I've also added a little picture and the responsible, so the one who's going to organize the session. And here in the product, I have the product that people will be able to buy and to register for. And I have set a price to it. So obviously you can change that. Here you see I have the limit registration. So I don't know how many people can come up to a session at once.
Up to 10 people.
Up to 10? Perfect. So we have the maximum here. We also wrote it on the ticket type. And if we go onto the website to see what it looks like, so let's see it. So my event is published and we're going to register to it. So we can register to the rock climbing session. So I'm going to register just 1 people. You see here, I only have 7 spots left because I have already 3 people that have registered. So that's automatically taken into account. So let's go to payments. And here, what we did, so we're going to confirm the booking. We have this option to pay on site. So it's a bit of a workaround, but we want people to choose that option so that it confirms the booking. And you see here, the message is confirm your booking. And the booking is confirmed. It has created a sales order in Odoo. So if we go back from your user perspective into Odoo, so I have my events. I'm going back here to my rock climbing session. I have the attendee that was created, and if I check up the sales order, so I have sales order that were created. And what we want to do is now go back to the point of sale application. I have created a dedicated session for the rock climbing room so that when you are at your desk, you can open the register. So let's do that. We're going to open the register. So you see that you can also sell directly from your desk tickets for the session, but you can also retrieve them. So what we're going to do is go into the action here and retrieve the sales order. Up. So you see the number of sales orders. So we're going to retrieve the one that we have just created. And what we want to do is settle the order, meaning that people have booked online, and when they are coming to your desk, they can do the payment, and then they can choose to pay by card, by cash, depending on what you offer. So let's validate this. And so with this, with events, if I'm going back to the backend, so I have my booking that is done online, but I have the payment that is done on site with the point of sale application. So this is the first solution with event. The other solution, we see now that we have 4 attendees, by the way, the other solution will be to use appointment. So let's go into appointment. I have also created my rock climbing session. Let's see what it looks like. So it's 1 hour session, and it's going to happen every Wednesday from 7 to 8 or 7:30 to 8:30. That depends. I can also manage capacities, but here in this case, with appointment, you can only manage capacity based on the resources, not on the user. If I check user, you see that the managed capacity disappears. So here we have defined the coach, Yuri, as a resource, and we have defined that he can handle 8 persons at a time. So we can obviously also change that in the resources here. So let's say Yuri, he can handle 10 students and not 8. So let's quickly go back to my appointments. So now I have 10, and I'm going to tick the box of manage capacity so that people, when they are booking online, they can purchase up to 10 tickets at a time. So we also have the fact that we require an upfront payment, which is the rock climbing lesson, and it's going to be the same logic as with events. So let's go to the website to see what it looks like. So I have my agenda where I can see that every Wednesday I have the session. I can choose the number of people, so you see that it's up to 10. So for tomorrow, there is still 10 spots available, so let's book one. I select the time, and I'm going to proceed to payment. And here, it's going to be the same logic. So if I'm doing the checkout, I'm going to choose the option to pay on site, so same ID as with events. It's going to create a new sales order, and the booking is being confirmed. So from the user perspective, well, the client perspective, sorry, they can see that the rock climbing session has been booked. And for you, if you go back into Odoo, we're going to go into the point of sale. And once again, you are at your desk and you want to retrieve the booking. We're going to do the same. So we're going to go into action, quotation, and then pick up the sales order that we have just created and settle the order. So same logic. They're going to be able to pay for the session. And let's say they pay by cash in this case. And we're going to validate this. So in both applications, you're going to be able to have that link between the online booking and the fact that you are at your desk and you want people to pay when they are coming to see you. So really, the main difference between the two is going to be the fact that with appointment, you can handle the recurrence more easily. Because as you can see here, we have defined that the session happens every Wednesday. You only need to define it once, and then on the website, it's automatically taken into account. So what do you think of those two solutions?
Yes, I think it would be a good solution, but how would you manage then in event the recurrency of every Wednesday?
Yeah, so in events, the recurrency, you cannot really manage it from the event in itself. So you would need to create each event for each Wednesday. Or what you can quickly do is also to import, so import record. So you can create your file with the event. So where is it? Yep. That's great. It's fine. Up, you can create the file of the event and say, okay, when are your events, and select the date, and then you can import that. If it's working well, you can import them directly into Odoo, and it will create all your events immediately. So.
Okay, don't worry. I think I understood it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But I had also a question. For instance, sometimes I have customers that come to my desk and they want to book for a day in the future. So they don't book online. What is the most convenient between appointment and event?
Okay. Well, in that case, if you have people that have trouble booking online, then event will be the best solution. So let me quickly go back here. Why? Because, well, if you want to use appointment, you can do it, but then you will have to go and do the process as we did, so from the client's perspective. So meaning you will have from your desk to book it and fill in the information of your client. Whereas with event, it's more user-friendly from the backend, because you can go into your sales application and directly do the sales for the event. So let's say you have your customer that comes and tells you, okay, I cannot do the booking online. So we're going to call it customer A. And he asks you to do the booking for him. Well, you can simply add a product and you will have the climbing lesson as the product. So here. And you see that because it's set up, the product is set as an event and it needs to create an event registration, Odoo is going to ask you to select the event that is linked to it. So you will be able to choose which event you have created you need to book for, and also choose the ticket type, so you can have different prices if you want. So we're going to add this, and then you're going to confirm it. And it's going to automatically confirm the booking and ask you to update the information of the attendee and the participant of your event. So let's do that, update the registration. And now, because we have created, so it's a registration for an event, we have the link with the attendee. And so when we go back onto the event page and on the attendee, we can see that automatically they have received an email to confirm the booking. So you can do it for them from the backend. And if I'm going back into my event application, so I have now 5 attendees. I can check the different attendees, and I see that customer A has been registered, and you did it all from the backend.
Okay, perfect. So at least I have all the features in mind.
Exactly. So basically, for your use case, really the two options would be doable. It really depends on the main feature that's important to you. So for events, as you saw, we can push the sales order into the point of sale application and retrieve it. You can also limit registration and manage the recurrence by importing your different events. And the main advantage is the fact that you can manage it both from the front end and the back end, both the booking and the payments. Whereas with appointment, same feature, you can push it into the point of sale application. You can also limit the registration, but through a resource. And here the booking is better from the front end perspective. So in terms of user friendliness in the back end, then it's better to use events.
Okay, thank you, Manon.
No worries. So basically what we showed you with those use cases is the fact that sometimes it's a bit tricky to choose the correct apps, but it will obviously depend on the main feature that you need. So depending on the feature, we've highlighted some of them. You're going to choose the app based on that, and that will help your implementation. So let's continue with what's new in Odoo 18, even though I spoiled it a little bit. So for event, we have a couple of new features that came out. The fact that you can now choose the visibility of the event. So you can decide if an event is going to be seen by everyone, or just accessible via a link, or just for logged in user. You can also, linked with the website display of your event, choose now to display the country of your event. So let's say you have a multi-company in different countries. You can select the fact that you're going to add the little flag on it. it. And you can also now download the ticket from the sales order email confirmation. So you see that we have the view sales order, the email that is automatically sent when you confirm an order. And now you can also download your ticket from there. And the last two features of the event application, I already mentioned them, but you can now generate new leads based on the attendees by defining some lead generation rule, which we did during the second use case. And you can also, so you have a full link with the point of sale application. It's something that you have to check, the box you have to check on your product page, and you have a category of event to sell your tickets or to retrieve your order, as we did also in the use case.
So let's tackle now the new functionality in the appointment app. So what's super great in this new version is that you can avoid duplicates. So once you want again to book for an appointment, well, thanks to the cookies, the session ID cookie, well, the website recognize you and say, hey, you already booked an appointment. Are you sure you want to book again, or do you want just to review the booking that just was made? So here the customer must not be logged in on the website. It's directly recognized, and you have this pop-up, which allows you to sort actually all the bookings that are just duplicates ones. Also, you can allow cancellation to your customer, but it's only for appointments that are not payable, where you don't put a product to the appointment. So once you book, you straight have a message saying, hey, do you want to cancel your booking? Only for non-payable appointment. So here you can put like up to 1 hour before the meeting, the customer can cancel the meeting. Then the follow-up, that is super great. If you have a supermarket and you want to track the no-shows, but also the presence of your customer who booked for, well, a stand, here you can say, okay, the customer checked in, the customer never came, or the customer just canceled. So here you can have a better reporting based on the presence of the no-show of your customer. Also pay per seat. Now, when you put a resource and you put also a capacity, and depending on the amount of people coming for the booking, such as a helicopter tour, if you book for 2 people, well, it will be twice the price. Now it's dynamic on Odoo 18. So here you can see that the price is €50 per seat. So it will be €100 because here we selected 2 people. We have also the website block for the appointment type, so you can drag and drop it anywhere in your website, which is super convenient. Also the appointment onboarding, which is also possible on other application in Odoo, so it will easy the process, also the creation of your different appointment. So if it's payable, yes or not, if you want to synchronize it with one of your users, or if you have a restaurant and you want to make sure that it fits with the structure of your room. Okay, so I think we talked a lot today. And here, the part number 4, we have a great news. We create a magic sheet with a comparison table between those 3 different apps. So it's like a 3-page magic sheet, and this will be available up to next week on the event on odoo.com, where you subscribe for the webinar. So it will be straight available for anyone. It's in order to help you in your Odoo implementation. Perfect, so I think we are done, and we can now start with some Q&A. So we see each other in a few seconds. So we took some seconds to read your question. So there was a very interesting question about the seasonal rental pricing, and we know this is really crucial for rental companies. Unfortunately, it's not yet possible in Odoo 18, but this is in the pipe for the product owner. We are talking with them, making sure that it will appear sooner or later. But for now, it's not possible to work with high and low season, unfortunately. The second question was, when will the Odoo agenda sync with Apple Calendar? So for now, it's possible to synchronize with your Google Agenda, with your Outlook agenda. But for Apple Calendar, we don't have this in the pipe for now, talking with the product owner. So this is not for today.
So we have a question asking, so can you manage sales for multiple days of a festival, for example, with different ticket types? So I'm guessing we're talking about an event. So in that case, if you have multiple days for your festival, so let's go into Odoo and into the event, you would have to create different ticket types. So let's say you have your event registration. You can say this is registration for 2 days. So let's say up for 2 days, and you have the price for 2 days, and then you can do the same with registration for 3 days, and then have different prices. So here it's going to be for 3 days. If you choose to go with the event, so let's say up, it's a festival that takes place for 3 days. So let's do this. And on the website, then when you're going to publish it and when people are going to register, you will have, well, they will have the information on how many days they can register and have the different prices. So this is how, with event, you will handle the number of days for a festival and for an event. Up.
So for the magic sheet, this will be available on the event on which you register to be here today. So it's in the event page for this session, for this webinar. And so we'll make sure that from next week it will be available. So it's a PDF that you will be able to download.
Website here, maybe, if the product is not...
So here, regarding the booking of 10 sessions same day, what happens if the coach wants to change the date of one or more session? Well, in this case, what you can do is just change the date, go on the calendar app, go on the meeting. Yeah. So here, I can just go here in the calendar. I can go here and let's imagine, well, this one you want to change from date, so you can just change this specific day and it will appear on another date in your agenda, me as a Felix coach, and you can just communicate with your customer saying, hey, I move this meeting on another day. So the communication has to be done through the chatter. This is the best solution I can suggest you here. And this will be also synchronized with the appointment online. So if you put this meeting on another day, well, it will also make sure that the slot is not available anymore online.
So Magic Sheet, we mentioned it. The booking. Why doesn't Odoo allow scheduling an appointment from the backend? Because appointment traceability test. Okay, so the fact that with appointments, it's not doable via the backend. So as you can see here, when you are in the backend, so let's do that. You cannot, well, you can still do the booking. So here, if I click on it, I can book it for the person. So let's say, okay, booking online. I'm gonna write it. But then you won't have the link with the sales order. So if your appointment is something that the person has to pay for, here from the backend, you won't be able to do that, to say that you have a link with the sales order and with a product that is payable, which is why for that use case, we did it with events, because with events, you can go from the sales application and do the booking and have it linked with a product that people have paid for.
Exactly, but we have the feedback for several use cases, several business needs. We know that it's more convenient to do it from the backend rather than being and embody a customer and to go on the website. This is not always convenient, but for now, this is the best workaround that we can suggest. But we push really these apps to excel in the future. I think we tackle almost all of them.
Yeah, the main question were about so the appointment from the backend and also the rental. So rental, we mentioned the fact that well, it's not possible currently to handle the different types of seasons. But once again, as Camille said, we receive a lot of feedback and we try to push them to improve those apps. Let me just. I need to have access. So my team does not have Odoo licenses. I need to have access to their external calendar to see the availability and show those available in my event calendar. Doable? No, not really.
Not what I know. No.
Because the event calendar, so if we're talking about the event in itself, so event calendar, we have that view, we can have the calendar view here of the events. If you're talking about the calendar in the app here, you still have to do a synchronization, so it's going to be synchronized with appointments with your own calendar and with the synchronization that you can do with Outlook or Google, as we mentioned, and there you will see the event that you have in your Outlook or Gmail, you will have them in Odoo.
But it's always synchronized with the agenda of internal users, so you won't be able to see from the external user.
Yes.
So I think we tackle all of them. Thank you for your attention and for all your questions. We hope you liked it. Don't forget to come back on the event page of odoo.com on this webinar to find back the magic sheet to help you in a better implementation. Thank you.